What is up, guys? NightFox here again. So I wanted to make a kind of follow-on video to my introduction that I made, as there's a few things that I left out, and I kind of wanted you guys to know everything about me. Not so much everything, but you know what I mean, like anything that's kind of important to you guys and what you guys could kind of relate to. So first and foremost, I am a graphic designer. I've been designing mascots, like logos, any kind of branding, usual kind of overlays, Twitter revamps, stuff like that, for esports teams and just the general gaming community for quite a few years. So if you are in an esports team or anything like that and you're looking for logos or design work or anything like that, feel free to go and check out my Twitter, which is NightFox Design. Won't be too hard to spot, you'll see my logo posted everywhere. But yeah, so that's kind of first and foremost my main hobby, which I do on the side of my main job. And also, I wanted to talk about the Fright series that me and Infernia will be running. We used to run that on my old channel, and it did quite well. People used to respond quite well to it. You know, it's quite hilarious. It's a series where we play the horror genre type games, and just you can literally watch us humiliate ourselves, shit ourselves, scream out like a bunch of girls online, and just play through the kind of stories. You can kind of see the story gameplay itself, but then have a bit of fun whilst watching that, rather than it being just a boring old let's play. So yeah, we'll be starting up again. That'll be NightFox and Infernia's Fright Night Friday. So that, as you can imagine, that'll be every Friday. I'm not sure the date is going to start yet, because my mate is currently away, and I'm waiting for him to return before we can start it again. However, as soon as he does return, we'll organise the first game that we're going to play. We're not sure of which it is yet. We've got to pick one. But I have been looking at doing possibly some solo editions of that as well. So I've been looking at some Outlast gameplay, and I believe Layers of Fear I've been looking at as well, which I'm interested in maybe doing sort of a solo Fright Night series for that. Game looks shit scary, but in general, the games that we usually used to play in the old series was the likes of Dead Space and the Fear series as well, which was that was quite good. We always enjoyed that, and I think we started to branch out just before I finished on my last channel. Started to branch out onto the Resident Evil, like Resident Evil 5, stuff like that. Branched out onto them as they had offered a co-op mode. Unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the Resident Evil 7 doesn't have a co-op mode. I believe that's because they wanted to change it to a more atmospherical game, which, yeah, it's good, but, you know, I kind of miss the co-op game modes of Resident Evil. It's always fun to be able to go into them with a mate. So, yeah, the Fright Night series will be coming back. That should be a good addition to the channel, as well as you can see in the background here, I'm playing Division. At the moment, I'm currently just running around trying to farm to get the Skull MC gloves, and also farming Madison Square Garden, I think the mission is called, Madison Field Hospital. Currently farming them because I'm trying to get the Skull MC gloves and the short bow knee pads for my PvP build. In a minute I'll briefly show you my PvE build. At the moment it's pretty simple, a lot of people use it. I tend to go for more like DPS over anything, purely because I prefer to rinse kind of NPCs quicker than try and outlast them. So at the moment I'm running like a 4-striker 2 high-end build, which I will show you now. So you can see here I've got this bog standard Barrett's bulletproof chest, because obviously I want that extra damage, extra armor for whenever I'm in the got the skills on cooldowns, because I tend to use them quite a lot. And I have the specialized backpack as well, just to add that extra boost to my skill power, because obviously it's quite low normally. But you can see it's not a bad build. It's obviously not the greatest. I've seen better. It's got a just under 7k primary DPS, or firearms, and a just under 5k stamina. So it's not a bad kind of, you know, build, and it's still hitting that 3k electronics buffer as well. So it kind of allows me to have other skills on at the same time that you normally wouldn't be able to use in this sort of build. But as you can see, you've got 4 striker to give me that extra stability, the extra enemy armor damage, which is obviously why I use it for a PvE situation. Helps me break down them kind of elite armor barriers a lot quicker. And then obviously the set 4 bonus being the consecutive hits damage bonus, which stacks up to 100%, which basically means with this being the only gear set where you can actually get an extra 100% damage boost. Obviously that depends on how accurate your shooting is. Now the two, let me just switch the camera around and get a slightly darker spot so you can see it better. That's not much better, but as you can see, the two weapons I use, LVOAC is my long range weapon. On that is just bog standard, unforgiving, brutal, and I've got responsive on this, which I need to re-roll for, I can't remember the name of the trait now. It's the one with the extra from 30 meters, the extra damage from 30 meters. That's the one I kind of want to put on because I don't tend to use this from 10 meters, so I have been meaning to re-roll that. But the other weapon I use, and a lot of people don't rate this, but honestly I think it is the best SMG. I'll explain why in a minute. The AUG, I'm at the moment obviously using the enhanced AUG, but there are several different types. But this is the one I tend to use for PvE because obviously destructive. Again, that armor destruction really helps. Critical hit damage, considering that SMGs obviously give that base crit hit chance bonus. I think I have 22%, that's it. An extra 22% crit hit chance. So deadly on this is a massive, massive boost. And then I've got hurried as well, which isn't too bad. Critical hits increase reload speed by 10% to a minimum of 1 second. So a lot of the time I'm able to put a lot more rounds down than usual. Now the reason why I use the AUG is because I find that although the damage isn't as good as what, you know, most people prefer the MP5s, the MP7s, but what I find is obviously the rate of fire is the slowest, I believe, out of all the SMGs. I could be wrong, but correct me if I'm not. I believe it's the slowest RPM out of all the SMGs. Now a lot of people misunderstand that they believe that if they've got a higher RPM they'll be putting out more damage per second, which is not exactly true, because unless, obviously, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people out there who could probably keep that kind of aim like stable from range, but with an SMG your kind of optimal range is between 10 and 19 meters. That's kind of the range that most people end up using it in. So your RPM, if it's obviously high, you're going to get a lot more recoil and you're missing a lot more shots. So yeah, granted you're putting a lot more damage down range, but you're missing a lot more shots, so your damage output actually isn't that high. So with that lower RPM, it's kind of easier to keep the gun stable, so I find it a lot easier to fire down enemies from longer ranges and mid ranges just because of the fact that it's got more stability. So that's the reason why I use that. And as you'll see, when I do get within that kind of 10 meter range to an enemy, I literally melt them. Whether they're elite or anything like that, you just see me burn through their armor purely because of the enemy armor damage boost that I've got on it, and obviously the crit hit chance. As you can imagine, all the kind of setups that I've got on that gun are all kind of crit hit chance, crit hit damage boosters, which I've got on it, which obviously all help. I think at the moment my max crit hit chance is about 38%, which obviously again it's nowhere near that cap that you can get to, but this is because I've only recently started using this build and I'm currently looking for a better AUG and better equipment to use on that as well. But I think it's mostly because my striker gear was re-rolled for a weapon that I used before, which used to be the Pac-Am, and it was kind of re-rolled so that I had everything rolled around health, which if I get more striker gear now, I'm starting to build it more around my crit hit chance to hopefully build up to at least 50% is what I want. But yeah, that's the kind of build I'm going for at the moment, but for PvE. But for PvP, and the reason why I'm currently chasing down all these named bosses, I'm trying to build a high-end build which will put out a lot more crit hit damage for this kind of weapon and all the weapons I use for PvP, because I seem to think that obviously since Alpha Bridge has been nerfed, high-end builds with like that extra crit hit chance kind of booster is a lot more beneficial to me in the way I play. So that's what I'm kind of going for at the moment. I'm keeping my Barrett's bulletproof vest. I'll have a refreshed mask, which I've already got, a nimble holster, which I've already got, still the specialized backpack, but all I need now is these Skull MC gloves to give me that great like base damage boost of 16%, which is incredible. So you can imagine that really boosts your damage. And also the short bow knee pads, which in PvP is ridiculously overpowered, I feel, because obviously being able to drop a grenade and it pretty much instantly explodes. You know, you can down enemies with a frag, or you can get like kind of instant shot grenades, which if you get an enemy with a shot grenade, you're pretty much guaranteed an instant kill. So for game modes like Last Stand and stuff like that, it's really beneficial. But yeah, so I'm just going to kind of wrap it up there, just give you a brief look into my division build and the kind of things you can expect to see from me. Obviously, again, my Twitter, if you want to check it out, it's NightFox Design. I will leave a link to it in the bottom in the description as well, so feel free to pop over there, check me out, check out all my old designs. I've been doing it for a few years, so there's quite a few examples of my work up there. But yeah, so feel free to go over there, check that out, and look forward to the Fright series that me and Infernia will be putting out. And again, if you guys have any suggestions of series that you'd like to see, please just leave your suggestions in the comment box below, and I will get back to you. I'll do everything I can to get back to literally all comments that are left for me, because at the end of the day, if you've taken the time to leave a comment in my box, I should take the time to then reply to you. That's the way I see it. So yeah, I hope you've kind of got a good little insight, or a better insight into kind of what to expect from me, what I do, and what kind of things I use on this sort of game in this build. And I hope that you will join me for the next video. So look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for watching.